So, do any of you have a pet that you adopted from a shelter or a rescue group? And after you have this pet and they spend a little time in your life, do you ever look at him or her and think, what was your life like before you came to live with me? What happened to you back in the day? So this is Macy. She is a retired racing greyhound. She will be 8 years old in July. I adopted her in October of 2012, so we're going on 4 years together. And I got her from an organization called Golden State Greyhound Adoption. When I got her, this is what I knew about her. She was born in 2008. She raced in Florida. Her racing name was Atascocita Macy. Her owner was a company called Atascocita Racing, and they attach Atascocita to the front of the names of all their dogs. Her mother's name was Atascocita Lexi, and her father's name was Dodge 'em by Design, which I think is just the coolest name. She had some quirks that are common to ex-racing greyhounds, which the rescue group told me about ahead of time. She had zero familiarity with windows and mirrors. I had to put tape at eye level on the windows so she wouldn't think that she could walk right through them. And then the mirrors, she kept on trying to figure out how to get that other greyhound to play with her. She was like bowing down and like, hey, let's play. And there were a few bumped noses into the mirror that she picked up on that pretty quickly. Stairs, she had never seen stairs, had no idea how to walk upstairs, so that took some time. We did some work, like step by step, literally. And riding in cars, she had never ridden in a car until the day that I adopted her and took her home. She still doesn't like it very much. She's not a car-loving dog. Excuse me. And she has scars. If you look, you can see some kind of on her nose up there. That's probably from the muzzle that they wear when they race. She also has quite a few scars on her legs, and a big one kind of on her hip. You can't see anything there, but just kind of all over the place, little scars here and there. So I look at this cute, sweet, wonderful dog that I fell in love with immediately as soon as I got her home. And I was just like, what was your life like before you came to live with me? So I did some research into the typical ex-racing greyhound life. So they're usually born at commercial breeding farms all over the place. She was probably born in Texas. That seems to be where the Atascocita Racing Company is based, but not totally sure. Puppies are weaned at 8 weeks old, and at that point they're given ear tattoos. So in their right ear, it's their birth date and their birth order. So I know that she was the second one born in her litter. And on the left ear is a racing registration number. Training for these puppies begins at 6 months old. And they kind of like to run, they're bred to run. So getting them to run isn't that hard. It's kind of focusing it, I think, is a lot of the training. They start out by chasing lures, and then it kind of gets a little bit faster and faster. And then they graduate to a simulated racetrack experience. They start with their real racing at about 1.5 years. And at this point, the dogs usually live in a racing kennel, which is typically housed at the racetrack. So they're living right there at the track. A racing kennel can have up to 50 or 100 dogs from different owners. They're all training together, so they're spending a lot of time with other dogs and really just 1 or 2 people. The racing kennel itself is basically just a big room with rows of crates stacked too high. The females are usually on the top and the males are on the bottom. I read somewhere that females jump better than the males. I don't know why, but it seems to be standard. And they have shredded newspaper for bedding, which blows my mind because this one loves her fluffy, comfy beds. I on shredded newspaper. And at the racing kennel, they have the same routine every day. They get awoken at the same time. They go to bed at the same time. They get fed at the same time. They go outside at the exact same time. So they're very regimented. When they go outside, they're with all the same dogs. The females go with the females, males with males, because nobody's fixed. And they wear their muzzles when they're just kind of hanging out, just so nobody accidentally gets a little rough when they're playing. The only time that the routine changes is on race day. They don't get fed before they race. They have extra checks. They have extra vet checks, and they're checking to make sure they don't have any steroids or anything like that. They get weighed because they have a very specific weight requirement on race day, and that only happens twice a week, so at the most. So I looked at Macy's career. I looked up her ear tattoo that I mentioned in the Greyhound database online. Her racing career, she ran 68 races. She came in first place 6 times. She came in second place 3 times, and she came in third place 15 times. And I mention that because if they come in first, second, or third, the kennel owner and the dog owner both get a cash prize. So she made them some money, definitely. She started racing at 1.5 years old, which is typical. She raced in Palm Beach, Florida for the entire year of 2010. And then a couple of other tracks in 2011. It seems like she didn't really stick, like it didn't really work out anywhere. And then her final race was in May of 2011. I've seen some of the notes from the trainer, and she just didn't run. She just refused. I guess she was like, I'm done. It's time to retire. And then she got her freedom. And, whatever happened to her in her previous life, what matters to me is that she came to live with me. And I'm so grateful that she's part of my life now. It makes me so happy. And I have a little bit of time. I have a video I want to show. It's actually one of her races. I went online and found one. So she's in the number 2 gate here. So she's, number 2 in the purple. And there she is. She's going back. She's like in 4th now. She's doing great. It amazes me that she can do this. And there she is. Yeah, she's coming out the outside. Which I looked at her notes. That's like a typical thing. She often came around the outside. And then she comes out. And she wins it. And then I'll show you a picture of her. Here she is attached to Macy.